Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's start with the fundamental shift that is happening now, how we are building the systems right now, right? So we are just moving away from just reasoning to taking action. And the one of the key part of that is that the the need for agents to securely connect with the tools, APIs, and services. Before an agent can take any action, it has to access the internal APIs or external APIs or maybe some other services. That's what the Amazon Bedrock AgentCore Gateway comes in. So it's fully managed gateway that makes it easy for AI agents to discover, invoke, and securely interact with the tools, whether that could be APIs, it could be Lambda functions or any SaaS based connectors without needing to manage any infrastructure, any authentication complexity or any integrations. So this is what the focus of this session is going to be. One of the most important part of the Agent Core ecosystem, which is Agent Core Gateway. We will explore how this gateway will help in the agent development, okay, and how it helps you to build a production grade systems that are secure, scalable, and easy to build. So before we go further, this session requires some background on model context protocol. I already have a video that explains in details what is model context protocols, an example, for demo and the code, everything's provided. I would encourage you to watch this video if you would like to get more details on model context protocol or MCP that helps you to better appreciate the gateway, Bedrock Agent Core Gateway. So take a closer look at the Agent Core Gateway, a key component of Amazon Bedrock Agent Core that simplifies how AI agents connect with tools and APIs. So at its core, the gateway is nothing but it's a fully managed entry point for AI agents to discover, invoke, and securely interact with the tools, whether they are APIs or Lambda functions or third-party services. On the left in the diagram below, you can see that agents talking to the gateway via the MCP client. That's the model context protocol, which standardizes tool communication across services. Once connected, the gateway handles everything from tool registration, discovery, search, invocation, both for and also both inbound and outbound authentication, all from a single interface. So what makes this even more powerful is the built-in integration with Agent Core Identity, which enables secure session-aware authentication and a CloudWatch giving you full visibility into tool usage and performance. So to summarize, the Agent Core Gateway basically eliminates the heavy lifting you have to do as a developer around all this tool orchestration and then security. So you have everything comes up at most important thing is you can do everything at scale. So now let's talk why the Agent Core Gateway is such a game changer for AI agent development. First, it turns your months of backend integration work into few minutes. With few just lines of code, you can convert your existing APIs or Lambda functions or OpenAI specs into an MCP tool that agents can use out of the box. It even supports integration with something like Salesforce or Slack or Jira or Zendesk. This means you are not writing business logic or building scaffolding from scratch. You are simply packaging what you already have. You have some Lambda function which is doing some function. You can just quickly convert that into an MCP tool which all your agents can actually start using it, right? Second, it offers a unified access point. So rather than scattering your agents across different tool registries or environments, you get one secure endpoint through which agents can discover and invoke tools. So you could have one tool which should be say used by say get customer preferences or get order details. If you have one API which might be required by multiple agents, then you can convert that API into an MCP tool. That could be a Lambda function, or it could be another API, or it could be some SaaS integration. You can quickly convert that into an MCP tool, which will be used by pretty much by every agent within your enterprise, right? So this simplifies basically the development, reduces the maintenance, and helps team move from faster prototype to production. So without compromising on the authentication, authorization, the control, and most importantly with the scaling aspects. Now we'll go through the core capabilities of the gateway one by one. So we start with security guard. So this basically the gateway handles the OAuth based authorization, making sure that only valid users and agents can access tools and resources. So this is critical when agents are invoking sensitive APIs or backend functions. So one of the things is that you are exposing a building MCP tool. It is agents are able to discover all things, all looks good, but you need to have some level of authentication, governance, so that only the valid users or agents can access the particular tool. You don't want a customer interfacing agent actually accessing some sensitive information about your other customers or maybe your competitors, right? You don't want to have that to happen. Next, the translation part. It handles the protocol abstraction, whether converting your standardized MCP request into API calls or Lambda invocations. So you don't have to worry about the protocol mismatch or integration complexity. Next one is that the secure credential exchange. What it means is that this enables automatic credential injection for each tool. So agents can securely access systems like Salesforce or Zendesk without hard coding or exposing credentials. We are going to see all these things action in the coming slides. Other one is the composition is another key capability. It allows you to group multiple tools, APIs or Lambda functions or other services under a single MCP endpoint. So agent just call one thing and that gateway orchestrate the rest behind the scenes. And which is one of the most interesting feature I find is semantic tool selection. Basically this feature helps agents to find the right tool even there are hundreds or thousands of available. So basically it uses a context aware retrieval to match the user intent with the most relevant tool, all while keeping that your the prompt compact, so that you don't have to write very elaborate prompt. And finally, the infrastructure part. You don't have to manage server or logs or uptime. AgentCore Gateway runs serverlessly with built-in observable tool like CloudWatch. You don't, so that basically reduce your operational overhead. So altogether, these features give developers the flexibility to build a powerful, secure and scalable AI agent ecosystem. And the most important thing with minimal code and then the infrastructure overhead. Now let's look at the authentication model for the AgentCore Gateway. So security is a foundation to any production grade agent platform. Whether the AgentCore, that's where the AgentCore Gateway basically really helps you. Because it covers both the inbound and outbound access control. So when we're talking inbound authentication, what it means is that when an agent makes a call, the gateway validates its OAuth token to make sure that the request is authorized. So this guarantees that only approved agents can access a specific tools and resources. So once a request is validated, we move to the gateway processing. Here AgentCore handles all the behind the scenes complexity like credential management, protocol translation and secure routing. So developer don't have to handle all these things. And the next part is outbound authentication. What is this step is that this is where gateway, it has to securely connect the external systems using API or your IAM roles or OAuth tokens. So on behalf of the agent. So agents want to connect external systems, then you can use this outbound authentication to securely connect using as I told, IAM roles or OAuth tokens or APIs. The target could be a REST API, or it could be a SaaS app, or it could be internal service. The gateway takes care of entire the secure handshake between the agent and the external API. So this dual authentication model helps to build a solid security while dramatically simplifying your development. So it eliminates the need to fully manage credentials or build custom solutions, for the which for each tool which you are building. Next, let's talk about the semantic search capabilities. Before that, let's understand the challenges. So when it comes to deploying AI agents, in the real enterprise environment, one of the biggest challenges is the number of tools you have available, right? So many organizations have hundreds, sometimes even thousands of tools across platform. It could be Zendesk, it could be Salesforce, it could be Slack, it could be Zira, and lot of custom APIs, Lambda functions. These are all exposed through the NMCP server. For agent to work, it might require a lot of internal APIs and tools and third-party services. So, but where is the issue? The issue is figuring out what is the right tool required for this agent. So, without agent filtering intelligently, the agent, if agent is scoring all the tools, it might get written list of 1,000 tools. So then it has to scan each one of them, and it might lead to a lot of performance issues. It has to choose the right tool, might become it might reduce the accuracy, it might consume more tokens, it can increase the latency. So this is where the AgentCore Gateway helps with some smarter intelligence built in. So what it does is it uses something called semantic search to match the user intent to only the most relevant tool, often returning only 3 to 5 highly. For example, if you say that you have to say say draft a new advertisement, so there could be some hundreds of tools, but looking at the user prompt, the gateway knows that it has to pick up only the 3 or 4 relevant tools which are matching this prompt, which is matching this concept, which is matching this context, right? So this will help you to agent to talk to only few number of tools, so that it improves your latency definitely, because now you're having less number of tools it has to talk to. It also improves the accuracy because we are targeting only right tools required, and also you don't have to the amount of operational burden you have also will be reduced, as agent has to talk to less number of tools now than talking to hundreds of tools. So now let's understand how the semantic search functionality what we just told actually works in AgentCore behind the scenes. So first, there is something called vector store creation. When you enable search, AgentCore Gateway automatically provisions a fully managed serverless vector store. So there is no need for you to set up one manually. It is all baked in the service internally. Next, automatic populations. So as new tools or gateway targets are added, the gateway parses their metadata from JSON files or OpenSpecs. It then generates embeddings from these descriptions and adds them to vector store. Basically, this is something similar to the embedding we generate in RAG application, right? Where that helps for the semantic search. Then comes the search tool provision. The gateway exposes an MCP tool called X Amazon Bedrock AgentCore Search. This tool performs semantic search across all index tools, ranking them by relevance to the agent's query. For example, as I told, update shipping status, or you say draft new advertisement, it knows that if it is update shipping status, it requires only a shipment tool, maybe order status tool, something that it requires a couple of tools, because it knows that what is the context of this particular user query. And in actual production environment, all this can be deployed using your cloud formations or CDK or even Terraform. So you can define everything declaratively, including your identity, roles, credential providers for secure and deploying something repeatedly, and to follow all your CI/CD process. So with just few steps, your agents gain the ability to semantically discover tools in a large dynamic enterprise. Okay, that's what important. Like you have an agent, one MCP server could contain hundreds of tools, because by nature the MCP server has to cater to multiple agents. So obviously when it is having hundreds of tools, but this particular agent requires only one specific tool, that's where this semantic search functionality of gateway helps with the agents. Okay, now we'll run a simple exit demo on how we can actually convert an in a Lambda function into MCP tool, which is very powerful feature actually, because the enterprise might have a lot of Lambda function developed over a period of time, and then now by converting these Lambda functions to MCP tools, your agents can actually leverage this existing APIs. So you don't have to, that basically are building that integration between your existing APIs which are already available with your agent framework, right? So I have already installed this UE package and Bodo 3, and also set up this access site and everything, so I'm not going to showing them again. Now we will import this package, utils package. We will first create the Lambda function. Okay, so I'll show you after creating Lambda function what Lambda function. So now Lambda function is created. Let's go to the console. We'll see here. So this is our gateway Lambda function, right? A simple Lambda function with a tool name called getOrderTool. So we'll see how we can use this tool in the the Lambda function in our agents. Now we need to create an IAM role for the gateway to assume. So we'll create that role, and utils package has got all the methods to create the role. Next, we need to create a cognito pool for inbound authorization. That means for all when anyone wants to connect to your MCP tool, they need to be authorized. So that's where we are using Amazon Cognito pool, Amazon Cognito for the inbound authentication authorization. So for that, we first need to create the Cognito pool. So let's create the Cognito pool. And then after creating, let's go back and then check in the console. Okay, so there is a Cognito pool created. So you can see that under user pool. So we have created this Cognito user pool. This is a pool ID, and we have this signing URL, everything. So now we have the Cognito pool created. Next is that we need to create a gateway with Amazon Cognito for the inbound authorization. So we are having this gateway client here in that, and then we have actually in the auth configuration, basically we are saying that client must match with the client ID configured in the Cognito, right? The inbound client ID should match the client ID which we have created over here with this client ID. So now we are creating a gateway. This basically gateway within a gateway to convert this particular the Lambda function. That means the gateway for the AWS Lambda as the target type, right? So now we have this one, and then now this is a step where we actually transform the existing Lambda function into an MCP tool. Now we are configuring Lambda config saying MCP Lambda initial payload get order tool. The description of the tool we are giving tool to get the order. Maybe in real world you will add more description so that it helps the semantic search and everything. We are also having another tool called update order tool to get the order ID. And then once we are done with, we are actually calling create gateway target. So within the gateway we are creating a Lambda target within that gateway we created. Right, this is executed. No, not executed, sorry. Okay, I think it is already created, so I'm trying to create it 2 second time. So now is the we do this strands. We'll see how we can actually access this tool from a strands agent. So sometimes what I notice that there might be times this particular formulas it failed couple of times because it might take some time, for the domain name propagation once you create the cognito authorizer. So if it fails first time, you can wait for a couple of minutes and then retry again, it will work. So in this case it worked for me, and now I'm creating, now this is where we'll see how actually now what you have done. You are taking a Lambda function, you create a gateway, within the gateway you made this Lambda function as a target. So what it means is that now you are having MCP gateway, MCP server with an MCP tool. Now all it requires is we need to use this tool within an agent framework. We need to see that I am able to discover this particular tool in the agent. So for that I create an MCP client. I pass my Bedrock model as Anthropic Cloud model. So let me first create the MCP client and then my model. Once I'm done, you can see here that we are creating agent where we are passing the model and tools. The tools nothing but the client.list.toolsing. Now you can see the client is MCP client. That means whatever the tools the MCP client provides, I'm actually getting everything. Now I'm trying to load all the tools, in the agents. I'm trying to load here. Now you can see that when agent says, can you list all available tools, or maybe check the order status, we'll see whether the agent is able to retrieve the right tool and then use that tool for the agent execution. So now you can see that tools loaded, get order tool, update order tool, which we define here, right? If you go in the top here, I define these tool, get order tool, update order tool, I defined. Now you can see that it has loaded these two tools. Next question I'm asking is check the order status for order 1, 2, 3. It is order 1 to ship status because all hard code messages, so it is getting all these messages. So this is about, so in nutshell what we have done right now is that we have taken this Lambda function which is over here. Sorry, maybe I'll show in this one, which is over here. We converted this Lambda function into an MCP tool, and then we try to access that tool, invoke that tool from the agent, and agent is able to recognize that. So this is kind of, we could do everything with very minimum code change. If you see, right, assume that this is existing Lambda function, we didn't change any code in the Lambda function. This Lambda function remained as it is. So without making any changes to the existing Lambda function, I actually converted this Lambda function to MCP tool. That's what the real power of this AgentCore Gateway. I'm able to easily convert this Lambda function into an MCP tool. Okay, so this is about how we can actually convert a Lambda function into an MCP tool.